Hello, everyone. My name is Cameron Basin. I'm the Artistic Director of the Miami Dance Hub. Our guest today is Eriberto Jimenez, the Executive and Artistic Director of the Miami Hispanic Cultural Arts Center. This is a very beautiful building that houses quite a number of arts organizations that we'll find out more about. Speaking with Eriberto, welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. It's nice to see you.
And thank you for being here. Welcome to the Miami Hispanic Cultural Arts Center.
Yeah, it's a great place to be. Let's go back and talk about your dance upbringing. So can you tell us a little bit about how you became involved in dance and what your studies entailed?
Well, yes. It all started because I had two cousins that they started to take dance lessons on Sundays. So my aunt asked me if I could pick them home, bring them to the studio, and then get them back home. They wanted boys, they needed boys for a dance group, and I was there, so I decided to join them. And after that, I just got hooked on dancing.
It just felt like a natural fit for you?
Yes, and the director of the group, he had a dance studio, so he offered me a scholarship to study there, and that started everything.
Oh my goodness gracious. And so, and how old were you about at this time?
I was 15 at the time.
Okay,
yes.
So you were young, but not like, 7 sometimes.
Yes, I started a little late, if you can say it, like usually dancers start much earlier. But
and men do,
I was,
actually.
yes.
Can you remember who was your greatest influence at that time, and what did you love about dance?
Well, I think I just fell in love with dancing, But before I used to just go with my sisters to parties and dance a little bit. But it was not that fun because people hated, because I danced well with my sisters, so everybody was like, you're showing off. So I decided to sit down when I went to the parties and watch everybody dancing. But then when I started, doing it, seeing other people, so I guess my influence was all those dancers, it was new for me, and I guess that was part of it. I got so excited to see people dancing like more, structure.
Right.
So
it wasn't a free-for-all.
Yes.
It was more with a technique.
Yes. And the dance studio, the name of the teacher was Carlos Jaramillo, and the school was called Trignia Cavaliers.
And where are you at this time? What city?
This is in Colombia, in Bogota,
right.
And the dance studio did contemporary, jazz, and modern dance.
Oh wow! So kind of ahead of its time, actually, because
Yes.
now dancers do so much.
Yes, the director studied here in the States. He studied a little bit of Graham, a little bit of Limon, and he also went to Alvin Ailey. So he had a very mixture of things, and he decided to go back to Colombia, create his dance company, and that's, I love the style that he teach. It was very interesting.
It must have been a very natural fit for you to go into dance. It seemed like you wore it very well.
Yes, and it was like the first contact was like folkloric dances from Colombia. So it was natural for me because, it's like dancing salsa or merengue. Exactly the same.
It's true, in a different way. So as you got older and you started doing more performances, how did you feel about performing? As opposed to learning the dance technique, but then you start performing and being on stage and learning roles. Was that something that you had an affinity for?
Well, I guess I was lucky because I picked choreography very quick. And I think he saw that and he tried to push me a little more. 3 years later, I was dancing with the company.
Wow.
And then that was how I came to the States, dancing with this company.
Okay.
And also, at some point, he decided, because I used to take the ballet class with the company, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I loved it. And at some point, he decided to take us to another studio where the teacher was more, very strict. And I loved it. And she dedicated a little more time to me, so I understood things better. So I started taking more ballet on a regular basis.
Oh, wow. So your story is it's sort of very inspirational for young boys who are studying because you wanted it so badly and it seemed like such a natural fit for you to dance.
Yes. And I think especially for men, when you start dancing because you like it, you push it more, you work harder, and you achieve things faster, you know, like when you start young and your family or your dad or your mom is pushing you, you have to take this, and then you get bored. No.
Right.
When you do it because you love it, then it's a different story.
It's a natural fit. So what, in this touring and performing, how did you end up in Miami?
Well, the company was touring here in Miami. We had performances at the Jackie Gleason back then, and then at that point we rehearsed at the studio that Pedro Pablo Pena had back then in that moment. That's how I met him. And I saw here a different thing, you know, a different way of living, a different way of dancing as well. And then Pedro offered a scholarship to 3 of the boys that were on that tour.
Yes.
So we decided that perhaps we should stay.
Take advantage.
Yes. And also the company in Colombia was having some trouble, and actually like 2 years later, after I decided to stay here in the States, the company dissolved and the director moved on to Germany. He lived in Germany for so many years, and then now he's back in Colombia.
Oh my goodness.
So I guess it was a good step.
Yes, absolutely. So Pedro Pablo Pena, who was the founder of this organization and this, of course, and this house, you worked with for many, many years after that initial meeting. And can you talk a little bit about your relationship? And I think he was grooming you. I mean, you were always sort of his right-hand person, it seems, in everything that he did. Can you talk a little bit about your relationship and the years and the time that you spent together?
Yes. Well, I met him when I came to the States. It was on '89. He offered us the scholarship, so the 3 boys were like, yes, we're moving to the States, we're moving to Miami. And we were very excited. And of course, you're young and you don't care. So we used to live at the studio. So when everybody left, we would put our mats on the floor and sleep there on the studio. So that was, you know, very nice of him that he always wanted to help people, you know. So that's why probably I decided to keep working with him. He also had great ideas, like eventually at that time he had the dance studio and one of the organizations, which is the oldest one, Creation Art Center, back then was Creation Ballet. So he had a small ballet company and we started dancing with the company. Then later on he founded the Miami Hispanic Ballet. And I like because he pushed like that professional level, that you didn't get much. I mean, I was illegally in the country for many years because I had no papers, and by being Colombian, it was hard to get all those things solved. So for many years I was illegal, and I was able to work with him on a different level that I couldn't. I would like to join the Miami City Ballet, but they wouldn't take me. I went to New York and I studied at Joffrey as well, and I was on the second company, but they didn't offer me a job because the papers. So it was always that. So Miami, I worked like if I had papers. So I did a freelance for so many years, and everything I got through Pedro, because he helped me with the organizations.
So he really opened the door for you in many ways and allowed you sort of embark on a career that couldn't have been had maybe because of your papers and the status.
Yes, so I was always very thankful to him because of that. So I decided to, little by little I started helping him and at the office, and with the time I became like his right hand, and I gained his trust. So at the end, many of the decisions he wouldn't take them without consulting me, which was very important for me, that he had me to that level of trust.
Yes. And so you had been with him for lots of years, and you knew the intrinsically everything that went on here. You knew the people, and you knew what the goals were and the dreams. I mean, that was part of what you were doing with him.
Yes, I was always I was always there. I mean, since '89.
Yes.
I lived in New York for a year and a half, and then I came back and continued working with him. So everything I did was always through him.
Wow, that's quite so wonderful. So now you have this beautiful home that's quite so lovely and restored, and that you own, which is quite wonderful. Do you feel like having this place has enabled you to do more things, to more programs, to grow? And it's allowed you to do other things that were hard at first?
Well, the house, we got the house at the end of 2010 through a grant of the Dade County and some money from the city. And Pedro decided to create this cultural center since one of the organizations, Creation Art Center, this organization has in charge of doing like art exhibits, theater plays, poetry, literature. So all the events we do here at the house are through this organization.
Oh, I see.
Then he created Miami Hispanic Ballet, which is the organizer of the International Ballet Festival. That it was founded in 1982, I believe, yes. And then he created the Cuban Classical Ballet of Miami in 2006.
Right.
So finally he got a place where he could
So
host
everything can be under one roof.
these organizations, yes. And the center itself produces around 60 events a year, just in the house, aside from the festival and aside from the Cuban Classical Ballet. So yes, it is a big...
Busy.
And I guess after, I mean, for so many years I dance and I teach, I taught at so many dance studios, and I never thought to be in charge of this organization.
Right.
So things have changed for me completely.
Right.
My idea of continuing with this career, now it's completely different since I'm in this position.
So what, since Pedro Pablo was so established and had been here for such a long time, and obviously his right-hand person, you knew everything so well, what was it like taking over from one who had been so established and sort of being in that role and being the lead and being the one in charge of everything? I mean, wearing all those hats.
Yes. Well, Pedro, he passed from cancer, and he had a problem for many years because in Cuba he had hepatitis, and I think he wasn't cured well. So throughout his life he carried that. So at the end, like everything spread, but he knew what was happening, and he started pushing me to do more things.
Ah, I see.
So I will do a lot of volunteer work. I will work in the mornings for him or at night after I taught. But he started pushing me to do more things. He was like, you have to meet these people. You have to go to this. You have to go to these meetings. And I think he knew eventually, knowing that his illness was progressing, that perhaps, I was the only one there. I was the only one helping. And the only one that could probably continue with his work since I was behind everything.
Right.
At this moment, I was teaching and choreographing everything, putting all the performances for the Cuban Classical. I was helping him organize the festival. Well, I organized the festival since day one.
Yeah, so it's not a lot of it is not unfamiliar to you because you've been doing it.
So the next step, it was hard because I had to redo the whole administrative work. He administrated things his way,
right.
And everything was here or everything. So it was difficult. I was very lucky also that I studied some accounting, and I was like back many years ago. I graduated from like business administration. So for me, this part of the administrative work took me a while, but I know what I'm doing. At least, with him it was a complete different thing.
Right.
And to take things out of his mind, it was always hard,
Yes.
It's like... pulling teeth
Yes.
for him to tell
And
you
you would
something.
know because you were there.
But that process of getting all together, it's hard, but not as hard as if somebody else that started from zero.
Right.
Yes.
And so now are you feeling more comfortable? I mean, you wear a lot of hats. I don't know how you do it all, to tell you the truth, because you do wear a lot of hats, and there are a lot of things going on here. Just talk a little bit about all, I mean, you did earlier, but talk about all the things that do happen and that you oversee as artistic and executive director of this wonderful institution.
Yes. Well, first, the center, as a center, we wanted to promote Hispanic culture. We wanted to continue helping artists of Hispanic descendants here in the States. So the center produces every year between 10 to 12 art exhibits that are open every day to the public, and they're for free. So whoever wants to come to the center, they will always come and find this place open and an art exhibit available for them to see.
Yes.
We also produce literary events, book presentations, poetry readings, and we have an event that it's already 7 years. It's called Viernes de Tertulia, Literary Fridays, and it's led by Luis de la Paz. He's a reviewer from Miami Herald. So he keeps that part. We also do small concerts, piano concerts or singers, opera, everything done in this room or outside. We also put theater plays. We have a theater program for kids also here at the house. We also do like film series, presenting small films here at the house. So we produce a lot of events. Right now we're doing a program through our social media that is for kids. So we have an actress that he reads the stories for the kids, and we put it on our Facebook page for the Men in Hispanic.
And that's not even the dance-focused organizations. Those are more arts-focused. But there are a lot of things that are going on. And as a dance director, artistic director, you oversee everything.
Yes.
You make me tired just talking about it. I'm tired.
Yes. So aside that, we also have the school, the Cuban Classical Ballet of Miami School.
And that's housed here as well.
Yes, it's upstairs. We have on the second floor, we have 2 rooms that are our dance studios. In the morning, we have the company that works from 10 a.m. until 1 or 2 p.m., depending of what we have. We went from 2 programs a year to 4 programs. Now we're doing 4 programs a year. I teach the class for the company. I do rehearsals. I try to oversee, of course, all the scenery, costumes, the production as well. So, and I guess I inherit this from Pedro. That he has to be in everything. So I have to watch over everything. And it's like...
And for most people, that job alone is a full-time job. Much less having anything else to do. So you are a very busy man. I know that you are... What do you think makes a dancer of today?
What makes a dancer? Well, I think the most important thing for whoever that wants to do anything in life, not only dance, it's love and passion for what you want to do. Yeah. Either you're a writer, painter, actor, dancer. If you don't love what you do, you're not going to make it. Yes. Because you have to dedicate your life to it. Right.
And that's actually coming from the source, because that's your story as well, really.
Yes. Yes, I don't feel like I work. Since I started dancing, I don't feel like I work. Yeah. For me, this is every time. Even if I used to work doing TV, so I will do my ballet classes in the morning, teach in the afternoon. Sometimes we have to record for the TV station, but so many times I also dance in like nightclubs and things like that, just to make money.
Sure.
So I try every single style of dancing there is. And I never felt like working. For me, it was always fun. It was so, because I love it, you know. Like right now, I work from 9 a.m. until midnight, and I don't feel it.
You're like exhausted working, yes. Very inspirational words. I mean, the words for everyone to take heed of, because everyone should have that feeling when they go to work, per se.
Yes, you have to have a passion for what you do.
Yes. So the festival is coming up in July and August. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the festival entails, why you do it, what you hope audiences are going to get from it?
Well, last year, unfortunately, through all this thing that we're living right now, we had our 25th anniversary. I had plan A, then I have to change to plan B, and I end up with plan C.
Plan X, Y, Z.
Which was going virtual. So this year, we're trying to keep that as well. We're going to do virtual programming that people can go like Netflix and watch performances from probably we will have like around 15 to 20 programs that people can go and watch from different companies, same as last year. And we're doing live performances, and we will stream every single one of those performances as well. We are going to do some performances outside in venues that we never did before, but because of this, I think exploring new spaces. So we're doing the band Shell in North Miami Beach. We're doing the band Shell. We're doing 2 performances there, and we're doing this year a marathon.
Where?
I decided to create a dance marathon.
Marathon in the Keys?
It's gonna be no.
Dance marathon.
It's like yes, you dance until you die.
Oh, okay. Oh, that sounds fun.
So, because we never connected to the dance community pretty much of the city, especially the kids. You know, we started a program called the Youth Medalist Performance that we started a few years back, but I think we should include all the dance studios in town.
Right.
So I'm planning a dance marathon that is going to be on Bayside, outside, and we will invite, at this point I have already 10 studios that are committing to participate.
So a younger audience.
Yes, it will be for kids. Yes. So they know, and usually the kids enjoy this. Every time they come and they perform, they don't have the pressure of being on a competition.
Right.
So they just enjoy it. And this is probably what we do it, especially this part of the program. Now the festival has like 3 different weekends. The first weekend is going to be dedicated for the kids.
Right.
And the second for contemporary dance companies, and the last weekend are the classical galas, where we have guest companies from different countries. Hopefully, if the travel restrictions are helping us at that point, we already have program people coming from Europe, from Latin America. If we can make it, then already we have plan B. And we have companies, local companies, and also from here, from the States.
Yes.
So we're trying to see if prepare for, the best, but if not, we have another options, yes.
I know as part of the festival, just on an ongoing basis, you do a lot of other activities, not just dance, but you have other, books and films and art projects and many things going on. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Well, the festival started with 1 weekend of performances. We did 1 weekend of performances, and it started evolving. And we decided to do 2 weekends and to our contemporary weekend. Then a few years later, Pedro decided to choose one artist to do the poster. But then that artist will have the opportunity to showcase his work. So that's why we start doing art exhibits.
Right.
Now with these plays, we usually have 2 to 3 artists doing an art exhibit related to dance during the festival. We also start doing a film series, trying to look for documentaries that are about dancers or about dancing. So we present these as well, and we have different venues. This year we're going to do some of these, we're going to bring it outside. So we have our screen and our projector, and we will go to different parts of the city and we will project the film series. We also start creating performances outside. So there's going to be 3 performances this year that are going to be out in the open, on the streets, to involve more the community. The festival also does book presentations. So we look for, of course, everything is dance related.
Yes.
So this year we're going to have 2 books, and I'm looking, actually 3 books. One is called Vision 2121, and it's he's a reviewer, Baltasar Martin, and it's a compilation of his reviews from, it's like 6 years of different dance events here in Miami. The other one, he wrote a book about, he's writing a book, 2 different books about Alicia Alonso.
Oh, lovely.
So I know it's a little conflicting with people here, but we're trying to see as an artist how she was as an artist, not as a person. We try not to get involved with that part.
We're talking about dance and dance technique and artistry. Yes.
So the first part of these 2 books, it's coming out. So we're gonna present this book as well. And then we have Roger Salas. He's a writer from El País in Spain, and he's also writing a new book about the situation of all the houses now with all this pandemic in Europe and around the world.
Oh my goodness gracious! So the festival has gotten very huge. It's very encompassing, not just dance, but many other activities.
Yes. And this year, I started 2 years ago, we are doing a summer intensive. Because we start working for the Youth Medalist Performance, we start working with different dance competitions around the world. So we decided to just invite kids that go to these competitions to come and enjoy. So they will come and participate on the medalist performances, and they will stay and be able to take classes with our guest teachers and also participate on the events. We used to do it before and finish it on the kids' performance, but now I'm including the whole festival also.
So it's all
yes.
So it's actually getting bigger.
Because we used to have classes,
yes,
but now it's going to be like an intensive summer camp.
So with all this stuff going on, what are your hopes for the future?
Well,
it's a big question.
There's more things.
One sentence.
Yes. Well, now, like at the beginning, I didn't realize the position. Like right now, I'm trying to see how can I help from here other dance institutions around, the world. We're working right now with 2 different dance competitions in Colombia, in Argentina, in Panama. So we're trying to see how can we include all of these and connect all these, and how can we help these other institutions. I think it's part of what we need to do. I already have my career as a dancer, and I had so many people helping me and so many people giving me a hand to continue, that I think now it's time for me to do the same. Try to see how can I help other dancers that come from different backgrounds to try to make it.
That's wonderful. I love that you have taken the reins and now you're making it your own, and you know the position, you're in the position, doing wonderful things, and it's evolving, and it's just tremendous. So I appreciate you telling us more about yourself and about what's happening here and all the wonderful things that are going on, and thank you.
No, thank you, and well, it's just we invite everyone to come and visit us. The center is open. So many of our events are free. All the literary events are free. They can follow us on our social media, Miami Hispanic Cultural Arts Center, and they can find out about what we do on the house. And also, well, everyone that wants to dance, choose to love and enjoy what they do.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.